can't really determine virtue itself. Perhaps we can seek a virtuous life by avoiding/undoing aggression and vice, but how does that help in finding a virtuous partner? I'm with a girl now that I can see has problems, but is me enjoying time with her mean I'm attracted to some inherent virtue inside of her? Or am I blinded by my own problems that I'm still trying to fix in myself? That's from Daniel.
Hi, Daniel. How you doing tonight?
I'm a little nervous, but I'm happy to be here. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you. What problems does your girl have, Danny?
I thought you might go to that first. I noticed a few red flags. She's overweight. She has some... How much?
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. I don't think she's obese.
Come on.
No, I mean, I asked her, but she wouldn't answer me.
What's your guess?
I'm gonna guess maybe anywhere from 50 to 70 pounds overweight.
And how tall is she?
Not that tall. Not that tall.
How tall is she?
5'3" would be a guess.
5'3", 50 to 75 pounds overweight?
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's obese.
Oh, I might be mistaken.
Isn't that morbidly obese? I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the cutoff is, but that's
I'm definitely not an authority, so I couldn't.
So she's obese. Let's just say obese.
Okay. Yes, she's obese.
And what else?
Rough
and she didn't want to tell you her weight, right?
She did not. No.
Right.
So I mean, we've been talking about it from the get-go. Hiding things, yes.
Right. Okay.
That would be the third point. You kind of jumped on that third one right there.
Yeah.
She kind of hides her personality from me, from social circles.
She hides her personality? What do you mean?
She hasn't been the most upfront about like her political standings. I mean, she seems forthright with some hard topics, like in regards to her family or what she has to do about her weight. Not exactly what her weight is, but we do talk about that challenge. But when it comes to like social conflicts, like political stuff or like gender issues, she seems a little transparent. I think that's a good word. Yeah.
What does transparent mean?
I like she doesn't want to stick her head out there. Like she wants to avoid conflict. So maybe on the like if somebody was talking like pro trans or something, she'll be agreeing with them on that. And then maybe if I'm talking like anti-communist or something like that, she'll be kind of for that too. But not really taking a courageous stand for herself.
There's no real integrity.
No. It's like she's just been introduced to the concept of like integrity through words, you know.
All right.
So
what's my next question going to be, Dan?
I'm not sure if you're going to jump for her background or for mine.
No, I don't think we need a background call.
Okay.
I think we need a foreground call. I don't think we need about the past. I think we need the future in this call.
Is that the question? How attractive am I?
No, what the hell are you doing with this woman?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm trying something new. Well, that was the initial thought.
You're trying something new?
That's right.
Fat, liar, no integrity? I'm trying something new. It's called arsenic. Because I've had it with that caramel shit.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Initially, I didn't take it as dishonesty on her part.
She's an appeaser, right?
Okay, yeah. And I think, I don't know. Maybe I am making excuses, but it did seem to me that she's just being introduced to this kind of courageous integrity through words.
How long have you been going out with her?
Not that long. I think it's been about 2.5 months. Maybe see her twice a week.
You've been going out for 2.5 months, twice a week?
Yeah.
How did you meet her?
At a at the local dive bar.
Does she drink?
She does. Yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
And is she in her 30s?
She's 26.
She's 26.
Yeah.
And she drinks. And she's fat. And she has no real integrity. And she hides things from you. Which returns me to my earlier question.
What am I doing with her?
What are you doing?
Oh, I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Hmm.
Who came on to who first?
I guess I came on to her. Yeah.
You guess?
Yeah, I mean, I think back on it, how it exactly initiated, but I'm pretty sure it was me.
And why? Did you find her physically attractive?
I did not know. You know, when I said I was trying something new, I guess what I mean to say is that I was looking for something else other than looks. That I've had a lot of bad success. Or, yeah.
No, bad success. I like that. I think that's a good way of putting it. You've had a lot of bad success with good-looking women, right?
Yeah,
the hot, crazy continuum kind of got you a little down.
Exactly.
Right.
And so...
you were shallow halling a little.
A bit.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, and so she's probably the least toxic person I've been with. I mean, it doesn't say much for my choice in women. I understand that. Trying to climb up out of the refuse, as it were.
Okay, give me a portrait and crazy. Daniel, what else have you dipped your wick into?
Oh God, this is embarrassing. I know a girl who was fresh out of rehab. And that was a nightmare. Oh my God. She
rehab for what?
Heroin.
Oh, you're trolling me.
I am not.
You are trolling me. Come on.
I am not.
So this is a step up, is what you're saying.
Yes.
So there's this woman. She's out of rehab for heroin, and you're like, let's get it on.
I mean, since the attraction is kind of missing. I do find her attractive at times when she's smiling, when she's confident, but it is rare enough. Yeah, I was just tired of going for the hot and crazy, and she did. I don't know. I kind of enjoy.
All right, fine. Tell me about your mom. Fine. We'll go back there.
Oh, no.
What's the story with your mom, Danny?
It's not as simple as I'd like to put it.
Probably
but I'll
is,
try to make
but go on.
I'll try to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah.
Single mom.
She warned you about these crazy women at all?
Yeah, she told me not to date till I was 26 and that women are evil. Evil, yeah.
Women are evil. She includes herself in that?
She did. I thought that was a bit confusing to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's abominably frank. But all right. So women are evil, including me. Now, if she's evil and she's telling you other people are evil, they could actually be good, right? Because good is evil to evil.
I don't follow.
Not important. All right. No, okay. What I'm saying is not important, not that you don't follow. Okay, so you got a single mom says women are evil, and she's evil too. And what else was she like?
She's an immigrant. Came over here when she was like 16. English is her second language. And,
from where?
Vietnam.
Right.
I think I can say that, yeah. Yeah, and she's probably the most liberal or progressive of all her sisters. She's the youngest.
Wait, liberal, you mean like socialist?
No, just kind of free-spirited, if that's a word I could use.
No, I don't know what that means. I never know what free-spirited means other than generally fucking nuts, but all right. What else? I'm free-spirited. I consider physics optional. Anyway.
Of all her sisters got married, stayed married, and she was the only one who didn't. She got a divorce. She chose a really crappy person to be my dad, that kind of thing.
And how old were you when they divorced?
Ooh, like infant? No, for like 3 or 4, something like that. I don't have much memories of them.
Right. And why did they get divorced?
He got himself in trouble with meth addiction, and then I guess what the story was, somebody was hammering on the door when we were in the house, and then my dad decided that he didn't want to put us in that kind of danger, so he flew the nest.
So he fled murderous drug dealers he owed money to. Isn't that the story?
Yeah.
What a free spirit she was.
It's free spirit, yeah.
Yeah, that's generally fucking nuts. Okay. All right. Do you have any contact with your dad?
Recently. Like I contacted him 3 years ago to kind of get to know him. It was really...
Wait, your childhood, you didn't know him?
He maybe visited once a year until I was like in like 5th grade, so not really. My memory's not great with him.
Nice. I'm sorry about that. Was he far away?
Thank you. He was at the time he was in the throes of his addiction, and then now he's far away.
Right.
Like some flyover state.
And did he overcame his addiction, of course. I don't imagine he'd still be around otherwise.
Right.
Did he ever make restitution, apologize, anything like that?
Verbally. Yeah. Then I think he was kind of hoping for more like a father-son relationship kind of deal. And I was a bit too old. I wasn't so down with that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I mean, there's kind of like a window for being a father.
Yeah.
It's not like, well, now I'm 30. I really don't need a dad. In fact, it's kind of annoying to have one now.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I hate to put it that way because, you know, I don't want to say no to people who are trying to do the right thing in a way, but it's like, nah, you know, it's like someone coming up to you with a giant high chair and a big vat of baby food. And it's like, nah, that's kind of in the rear view for me, man. Take your big bag of diapers and fuck off.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm sorry, that ship has sailed. That time is past, man. Here, son, let me teach you how to walk. No, see, I kind of did that quite some time ago, and your help is really more annoying than anything now. And yeah. There's that window. Now, I mean, I hope that I'm going to be in my daughter's life for her whole life and mine. But now knowing how much foundation there needs to be, it's really weird being around a dad you didn't grow up with. I know this. It's awkward as shit.
It is.
Because he's like, well, this is your dad. Yeah, kind of. But also just some guy.
Yeah.
That I'm supposed to have this really deep and heavy relationship with that I don't know really from Adam. There's this just weird kind of awkwardness about it that is way too complicated for mortals to do.
Right. No, it's really obvious that he wanted that kind of relationship way more than I did, and that he was just not sensitive to that. He was not keen on that.
Especially if your father has had the kind of life where he's not accumulated a whole bunch of wisdom that can even really help you as an adult. And especially if it's like, hey, your mom's totally evil. I'm out of here. Good luck, 4-year-old.
Yeah, it didn't pan out. I went in expecting wisdom, and that was a bit foolhardy.
Yeah, and it's a shame too, because it is one of these, there's no rewind on the parental relationship. There's no mulligans, there's no do-overs. You missed the formative years, guess what? You missed the formative years. You're done.
Right.
Now that it's like that old definition of a banker. A banker is somebody who will not help you when you're drowning at sea, but the moment you get to shore, he buries you in life rafts. Because it's like, you need money? Do you have any assets? Hey, man, if I had assets, I wouldn't need any money. Oh, you don't have any assets? Can't give you a loan. Oh, you've got lots of assets? Okay, I can give you a loan. No. See, I have assets now. I don't need the loan. It's the same thing with parenting.
Right. The ship has sailed.
Yeah. Did you figure it all out? You're all grown up. You done right by yourself as best you can. Okay. Well, I'm here to teach you. No. See, that's not how it works, Dad.
Ready to be your dad now. Yeah.
Yeah. Ready to be your dad. It's like, I could be a granddad almost myself if I was in certain neighborhoods, but yeah, no, it is weird. It is weird. It's this weird combination of an intense conceptual relationship, but no actual physical relationship. Because you've got the conceptual relationship, father to son, not just a mediocre Queen song, but a very deep, powerful lineage relationship. So you've got this weird, heavy conceptual relationship that happens to be attached to this guy you barely know. And it's like, am I having a relationship with the concept or with the guy?
Right.
And because without the concept, there's no guy. Like, because he'd just be some guy.
Right.
Some friend of your mom's, like when you were a little baby, shows up like 25 years later and says, I'm ready to lead you into the future. Be like, you're just some guy who hung around with my mom like a quarter century ago. I don't like, what are you doing? Right. Because it's like, if you met your dad,
right,
and he wasn't your dad, he'd be just some guy you'd probably barely pay any attention to. Right.
Right.
So,
I mean, we share genes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can notice a lot of similarities there. But maybe
that's not
leaving
good
was his
either.
only kindness. I don't know.
That's pretty scary too. Hey, I was the meth addict who chose really, really bad women to date. We were genetically similar. Want to explore that? No! Really don't.
Believe me, I thought about that. Jeez.
Things I don't want to know. You got to quarantine your brain, man. I'm telling you, this is a general piece of life advice that I learned over many, many years, Daniel. You got to quarantine your brain. You got to view that as like your bath. You don't let people pee into your bath. You don't let people eat sandwiches over your bath. You don't let people just pour random crap into your bath. You don't let people take a dump in your bath. And your brain is like your bath. You got to keep it clean. You got to keep it segmented. You got to not give crazy people access to your brain. And because, the stuff that's seen can't be unseen. The stuff that's heard can't be unheard. And you've got to keep the rubble and the detritus out of your brain. You got to keep the pollution out of your brain. Like, you wouldn't go work out in a gym which allowed cigar smoking. In fact, required cigar smoking on every machine, because it would be like working out in downtown Beijing during a windstorm. And you have to keep your environment detoxified as much as humanly possible, which means limiting your internet exposure, which means limiting, if not eliminating, the capacity of crazy people to discombobulate your brain. You got to keep your bath clean. It's so essential. And when bad stuff comes into your brain, it kind of sits there a lot, right? And that's the kind of thing. It's like, there are things I know about my own father that I would give 3 toes and a testicle to not know. Like, I don't want to know. It's not going to help me.
Oh yeah, I understand. I mean, I had to learn my own story. I had to learn the story of what became me. But I mean, I guess had a lot of dark spots.
Yeah. So she's not a meth addict. She's not a heroin addict. Who else have you dated?
I had a long-term relationship before, just one. And
wait, was it a Tarantino woman with a machine gun for a leg?
Yeah, no.
Okay, good. That at least didn't happen.
She was crazy. But I had very low parameters. I had an older sister kind of warn me, probably shouldn't jump into this one, but I didn't heed her warning. I was cocksure and headstrong. So
emphasis on the first syllable.
Yeah. So I
no, the crazy hot continuum. Sorry to interrupt, but the crazy hot continuum is not just looks; it's also sexual athleticism, right?
Oh yes.
There's a There's a Woody Allen bit about that. Like some woman, I don't know which movie it is. People will tell me below. Some like glassy-eyed woman staring out a window, and it's like, yeah, she was nuts, but she was wild in bed. Like, yeah, because she's insane.
Oh yeah. So that lasted like 3.5 years. And towards the end,
wait, how was she crazy? Wow, in what way?
I'm sorry?
How was she crazy? In what way?
She struggled socially. Like she struggled with like social cues. So I remember like one time I was I had invited some friends over from class, and she just barged in yelling and saw them and continued to verbally assault me. She did that once while I had like family over, like aunts over. It was like horribly humiliating. And just like she just would want to pretend like everything was okay after. Crazy like that.
So it's not so much trouble reading social cues as no capacity for self-restraint.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I mean, if you'd asked her abstractly, she'd say probably that's not ideal, but she has no capacity to restrain herself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. She must have been really hot for you to let that happen more than once.
I was less attractive then. So, I mean.
You were what?
Less attractive then.
You were less attractive then? In what way?
Yeah. Younger. I'm poor, just generally a lot less confident.
Right, right.
That was towards the beginning of my dating life.
What's your relationship with your mom like these days?
Distant. But we still live in the same house. Mostly.
I'm sorry, that seems like a bit of an either-or equation to me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
So you have a distant relationship with your mother under the same roof.
Right. I think.
Why are you living at home, Daniel?
I've been an underachiever for an extended period of time before I finally started to pick myself up.
So who's paying your bills?
Other than rent, me, but I'm still subsidized by my mom. So there's that.
So your mom has been enabling your laziness.
Yes.
Why do you think she does that? Does she like having you around in this distant, same roof relationship?
Right. Yeah. She worries about me endlessly when I'm away. She likes having me around to make sure I'm all right.
She worries about you.
Mm.
What does that mean? She worries about you how? Like in what way? It seems to me that if you worry about kids, one thing you wouldn't do is have a meth addict being hunted by drug dealers as their father. That would be fairly high on the list of things not to do if you worry about your children. But tell me what that means to worry about you.
I guess when my stepdad was still around, every time I would take trips away, like extended trips away, she would like fuss over like what's happening to me over there, or if I was taking care of myself. Like, and she'd get like really upset. Like she would almost get like engage in fights with him when he was just like trying to calm her down or tell her it was okay. I don't know. Does that kind of answer your question? I'm not.
Kinda. What does she anticipate is going to happen to you? She's concerned that she did an absolutely terrible job raising you and you can't function.
That's it. Yeah. You hit the bullseye.
Does she know that, or does she project that somewhere else?
I'm sure she projects it. I wouldn't put too much merit into her ability to self-reflect on that level.
What happened to your stepdad?
I see. He passed away a few years back.
And were you close to him at all?
I was very close to him.
Well, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Was he a good guy?
Yeah.
What was he doing with your mom then?
Yeah, I mean, I had that discussion with him, but unfortunately it was on his deathbed. So there's
And why did he say he was with her?
Let me think now.
She's crazy, but she's great in bed.
Probably. Oh, that's kind of nasty to think about. Yeah. Yeah, I guess my mom's quite a looker, so.
Oh, she's pretty that way.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She is.
The curse of the looks.
Right. I mean, so I guess I was trying to break a cycle. Don't know how successful I was.
Well, it sounds like you're stepping up, right?
I am.
Right. Yeah, but you don't have time to take this one step at a time if you want to be a family man, right?
Yes.
I mean, you can't be like, well, I'll do another couple of years with a woman who's a 3, and then I'll do another couple of years with a woman who's a 5, and, you don't want to be the Jack Palance dad, right?
Right. No, you're right. I mean, it's been like every time I discuss the future, which is family and children, it seems like one step forward, 10 steps back about finding out more about her. And
so, Daniel.
Yeah.
Move the fuck out.
All right.
Seriously, what's wrong with that as a potential plan?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I have been kind of in and out of the house a bit. I just went traveling. I just put all of my things in a car and moved away about 4 years ago, and then I came back for my stepdad's passing, and then I was away again for 6 months. So I was supposed to just kind of come back temporarily. But yeah, I catch your drift there.
Quality woman comes along and meets you, Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to give your age, but you're not a young man.
Right.
And quality woman comes along and says, so, Daniel, tell me about your living arrangement. You're like, well, I have a really mean mom who says that she's evil and all women are evil and she's paying my rent.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Ain't a schlong big enough on the planet to overcome a rational woman's fear of that kind of situation. I don't care if you're called the tripod.
Yeah, I guess I have a little trouble vetting still, but I see what you mean. And I'm not even playing in the field yet.
What do you mean?
For trying to attract a virtuous woman. What am I doing at home, right? Like hoping to even get into the dating game.
Are you going to marry this woman you're dating?
Probably not, unless there's some drastic change.
There will be no drastic change.
Yeah.
No, live with that. There will be no drastic change. You know what it's like? It's like you and I, Daniel, we might be immortal. We might get to live forever. If massive scientific advances occur over the next couple of decades, we might be immortal. But we shouldn't really plan for it, if you get my drift. There might be massive changes in a personality, but you shouldn't really plan for it, right?
Right. No, you're right. I am running out of time.
I could break into fluent Esperanto. But you don't really need to plan for it, right? So then the question is, is it fair to her to, I know it's been a couple of months, but to kind of string her along and waste her time?
Right.
Because I know she's younger, but she's on a different schedule than you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we do talk about it often. And I can tell right from the beginning she's been holding back, because I think even she's asking, like, what am I doing with a girl like her to herself? Like, she doesn't quite believe it.
Because you're a looker like your mom?
I am.
What do we got on a 1 to 10?
I'm pretty sure I'm an 8.
Right.
Feeling pretty good about an 8, yeah.
So you're going to leave her an alpha widow, right? She's going to be like, well, I'll settle for a beta, but I'm going to think of Daniel.
You know what? You know what that is? Yeah. I used to be big on the manosphere stuff and the pickup stuff. Calmed down a little bit, but
Because you were afraid someone was going to post pictures of your girlfriend. I shouldn't laugh. I had to drop out of the manosphere because somebody's going to fisheye Snapchat my girlfriend.
That's how you officially break out of the manosphere. Is you just
you just date a land whale, and next thing you know, you're out of the pickup community, right?
Never to return.
Right. Have you slept with the woman?
I have.
How long did that take since you first started dating?
We slept with each other initially twice, and then.
What do you mean initially? What do you mean? Before you met? What does that mean?
Oh, is that not the? Oh, I'm sorry. No,
do not use his computer.
Fault. No, when we first met, we hooked up, and then
wait. Sorry.
Okay.
Pretend I'm not your age and don't know what the hell that all means.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Hooked up means that you fucked the first time you met?
Yes.
Right.
And then I wanted
and then twice, right?
I'm sorry?
And twice.
Twice. Yeah.
So you met her in the bar, you went home, and you had sex.
Yeah. I mean, that's near enough the order.
Please tell me, dear God, you're Cap and the Bishop, right? Like you're wearing protection and stuff?
Yes.
All right.
And then, I
then
wanted
you
to wait
did
a
that
while.
again?
We waited 2 months. We waited 2 months.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you got to be respectful. Or do you just have to wait for the blood test to come back?
No, God. I don't know. I wanted to get to know her without the stuff, without the sex. And then
well, not too much.
Right. I mean, I failed 3 times. I failed 3 times on that. So.
What do you mean? I thought we were talking twice.
Oh, and then 2 months later, when I had planned no sex for 3 months, and then I only lasted 2 months.
Wait, you planned no sex for 3 months after you had sex twice?
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And who initiated? So, did you hang out at all in the 2 month period?
Yes.
You did. Okay. And
but
no sex.
She initiated.
And then she initiated, right?
So yeah.
Right. Well, let's get to your question.
Okay.
You are not attracted to an inherent virtue inside her. That's the bad news. The good news is that you're not attracted to some massive psychotic bunny boiling dysfunction within her either, and that's a step forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to get a virtuous woman, then you need to clean up your life and you need to become independent. You know, I hate to use this phrase, grow up, because it is usually meant with abusive contempt. And I don't mean it in that way at all, Daniel. I really feel for you, my brother. I really do. Raised by a single mom, the decent man in your life died. Your dad was a meth addict, chased out of your life by murderous drug dealers. That is some terrible, terrible stuff all around. And you also have been up close to seeing the molten and melting furnace of female sexuality, in that your mom's a looker, and you see the weakness in masculinity these days, that the shell means more than the soul, right?
Right.
That the vagina means more than the heart. Far more, infinitely more, that the tits mean more than the frontal lobes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of power is a horrible thing to see. And I hope I'm not confusing the two of us, because my mom was very much a looker and was able to reel in men for quite a considerable period of time, despite every warning sign in the known universe. And seeing just how retarded men are around good-looking women is a hard thing to see as a young man. And you shouldn't see it as a young man. You shouldn't see it as a boy. You shouldn't see it at all. you should see two parents who love each other for their virtues and are attracted to each other and all of that, but you should see two adults, a mother and a father, and extended family, I hope, who love each other for their virtues, not see the dark, shallow, horrible weakness of men and the smirking, tit-based control of smug, evil women. You shouldn't see up close men surrender any pretense at self-respect and virtue by chasing after the bouncing tail of immoral women. And that is a way of approaching right to the cliff edge of the pit, the literal hell, Daniel, of nihilism. We're all just fuck machines. We're all just looking to spread our seed. We're all just looking for a wet place to discharge. And women have power they didn't earn, and men have lusts they can't control, and we are monkeys who fuck. And it's genetic markers, and it's hip-to-waist ratio, and it's hair, and it's facial features, and it's shit. And there's nothing pure, nothing lovely, nothing virtuous. There's lies and lust and sex. There is nothing pure in this world. And we should not be exposed to that in general. But as children, I think it's a very corrupting thing to see. The power that pretty little liars have, the power that gorgeous evil possesses in this world. It is kind of satanic in a very deep, Darwinian kind of way. Because it is an unearned power. And it is in general an unacknowledged power. Nobody says, well, being in possession of vagina and looks makes women corruptible, because we all know that power corrupts and all we think about is politics and money and men. Yes, power corrupts. And sexual power corrupts enormously. And it is hard to have respect for women when you're raised by a single mom. And it's hard to have respect for men when you're raised by a single mom, because what kind of men chase after single moms? Maybe your stepfather accepted merely out of respect for the dead at the moment. But it is a dark pack of baying lusthound that chases all sunlit virtues from the landscape. It's like the toothy vagina rears up and eats the very sun, in both senses of the word, I suppose. And what is left that you can see? What is left that is noble? What is left that is heroic? What is left that is virtuous that you can see? Well, pretty women can be evil, and men give them everything. And then, when they get too old to extract resources from men, politicians come along with the wealth of the unborn and use them, and use it to bribe them even further. They never lose. I mean, of course they do lose, I understand that. But their loss never becomes palpable. Your mom should have kicked you out 10 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
10 years have got behind you. 10 years of slumming, of lazing. Video games? You got video games?
Yes.
That's your pretend achievement, right?
Since 4 years old.
I have a gold star in a server that will end up in a garbage dump. I got the high score, and I can respawn in everywhere except real life.
Mm-hmm. No restart button.
No, there's no restart button. And there's no save game. And there's no try. pornography?
Yes.
Of course, right?
Yeah. Addiction. Yeah.
We used to have a little thing called marriage. Now we have pixels and Kleenex infertility.
God.
We used to have a mission. We used to have respect. We used to have children. We used to have a purpose. We used to be men. We used to be adults. And then do you know what we saw, Daniel? Do you know what we saw? Whether we saw it directly or through the media, we saw real men wander into a bloody surf and be cut down. Be hurled like lead soldiers into a furnace, melted down to fuel the vanity of those who never fought themselves. And we looked at the masculinity of the 20th century, and we said, so being a man gets you fucking killed. Being a man gets you spent in useless wars. Being a man is a suicidal self-detonation to elevate the bloodlusts of those in power. Being a man means that you end up as a tiny blasted smudge on an infinite golden throne. That's called manning up. Man up means blow up. Man up means die. Oh, or to be a man, to be responsible, to be a father, to be a husband. Well, that means being nagged. That means working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. That means being ambitious and having the cold-hearted, grasping elevation of status-based greed, to climb the ladder, to kick other men in the face, to get higher, to get more resources, to work and work and work, and then be nagged for being emotionally unavailable and not present in the family. Get me a big house. Get me a nice car. You're never here. You're emotionally unavailable. You got to pick one, ladies, for the most part. And then we see men, and they stand there, somewhat befuddled, and overhead a widening light and a shrill Stuka scream as the bombs of separation and divorce and family court and alimony and child support and living in a car and feeling suicidal. That's what it's like, you see, to be a man over the last 100 years. Killed by your government, killed in a war, thrown in a concentration camp, your savings evaporated in inflation, lured into marriage which turns out to be a Marxist trap of testicular destruction, and women who complain and who don't need you because they can run to politicians to get stuff. They don't have to subjugate themselves. They don't have to be helpful. The man subjugates himself with work and work and work and support and support and support. The woman, what does she have to subjugate herself for anything? She can run to the government and she can quit her job and still get paid. She can go fuck other men, and the father of her children, of his children, still has to pay her money. He has to pay the money that buys the condoms for the men who fuck the mother of his children. She lives in the house. He lives in a studio fucking apartment, if he's lucky. She has high sexual market value. He is a broken man. And then he gets to hear all about his white privilege and his patriarchal powers. And he is nagged for that as well. And then he gets to die younger, to lose his property, to lose his future, to lose his resources. And his testosterone. And
Yeah.
his testosterone's going down like 1% a year. And he gets to be scorned on and spit on by all the secure inhabitants of the cities he built. All of the people safe behind the walls built by men, safe behind the governments built by men. And though he built these cities and he built these walls and he built these structures and he built these sewers and he built these roads and he built these protections and he built this medicine and this science, he is scorned and spit upon as the new Jesus who brings light and garners only a crown of thorns. And so I'm aware, Daniel, that when I say to you, grow up, I'm also incredibly aware that saying these days, grow up, lands to a lot of men like, a lot of snipers around, stand up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But our choice is
cash
what?
cows and bullet fodder, right?
Yeah, but our choice is what? To let the bad people of the world take away everything that gives life the most meaning, to take away our wives, our children, our families, our futures, our sense of self-satisfaction. And men want to achieve, and we used to achieve real things. We used to achieve real things. There's a line from a novel many years ago. I read this when I was a kid, called Lucifer's Hammer. And they're trying to decide whether they should try and get a power plant and start a power plant up after a meteor has struck the world and taken everything down. The guy gives a great speech. He says, we can sit here and hide in caves and devolve every generation, or we can stand up and remember that we used to control the lightning. We have built civilization. Women have grown civilization, but we have built it. Women grow civilization in children and community and culture and support. But men build civilization in general. We're not allowed to do that anymore. And we can either give up and retreat into video games, pornography, slacker, travel. Oh, look, I learned how to do parkour. Or we can sit there and say, I do not accept the denigration of my sex. I do not accept being spat upon by those who my ancestors slaved to build the protections that surround them. I will not go gently into that good night. I will not surrender the power of masculinity to the lies of the abusers. I will not pretend that masculinity is toxicity. I will not pretend that I should be hated for the sake of some imaginary patriarchal privilege that I clearly do not possess. And I will no longer allow for my sympathy, my empathy, my compassion to be used as a weapon to castrate me. The one thing we forgot in the West is that morality, compassion, empathy, that is a relationship. That is not a commandment. That must be earned. And to provide it to the unearned is to subsidize parasitism. I have great compassion for people who are hard done by. But when people use my compassion in the attempt to humiliate and control and bully and denigrate and insult, fuck them. They deserve no compassion from me whatsoever. They deserve and have earned my enmity, my contempt, and yes, sometimes even my hatred. If you wish me to be kind, be kind. If you wish me to be compassionate, be compassionate. But I am tired of taking the high road, and I now return arrows for arrows. I now return contempt for contempt. Because I am one of the men who is building the next generation in thought, in word, in deed, and in the flesh. And I will carve aside the lies that hide my child from a free future with my bare fucking hands if I have to. With blood running down from my forearms and my nails splintered in wood. If that is what is necessary. That is what will be done, Daniel, and I am concerned that you have given up building something great because you have been told that you're nothing, and you've been told that women are evil, and you've seen that men are shit. And that's the level that you're at. That's the level of society that you're at. Where you look up and you see this obese woman as a step up. And I'm saying you don't need a step up, you need a jetpack up, my friend. You got to shake off these cobwebs of futility and service to women. Let me give you a tiny tip.
Okay.
If you really want to serve women, Daniel, the last thing you ever want to do is listen to them. The last thing you ever want to do is listen to them. It's almost like listen to what women say they want and just do the right thing. Or do the opposite. Sometimes it seems that's the way to go. I want a man who's sensitive. No, you don't. I want a man who's emotionally available. No, you don't. That's what God gave you girlfriends for. God gave you girlfriends. God gave you other women so you can snipe and bitch and fight with them. And be their emotional support structure or whatever the hell happens.
Mm.
But don't listen. And it's not just women. I mean, what men say too. Don't listen. And for God's sakes, do not listen to anyone tell you what being a man is. Even me.
Mm.
But you
Right.
know that masculinity is strength and power, compassion, kindness. And that we have. But we have mistaken the entire world for our families, the entire world for our own tribes. And now we have no boundaries, no borders. Women say, we want equality. No, you don't. You've been lied to about that because what is actually being delivered is superiority, is the tyranny of tits. Because they say, oh, we want equality. Really? Why aren't you working in the sewers? Why aren't you fixing the pylons that come down? When there's an ice storm, why aren't you lumberjacks? No, I don't want equality. 70% women in a lot of university programs these days. Nobody's sitting there saying, well, that's too much. Got to pull that back. We're going to need some outreach for men now. It's gone too far. Nah.
I like that. I especially like when you said strength there as a quality of man.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's been redefined these days, like strength to conform, you know, or strength to withstand whatever happens to you. But I mean, people forget that strength means the ability to do what needs to be done when the time comes, whatever that may be.
And don't listen to women about what's needed in the world. For God's sakes. Did women suggest sewers? Did women suggest electrical grids? No. Don't listen to women about... Do you know, here's a piece of genius, a tiny little... There's nothing to do with me. It's a little tiny slice of genius. Do you know how brilliant the migrants are who've come to Germany from the Middle East and from Africa? Do you know their nickname for Angela Merkel?
Oh, what's that?
It's Mama Merkel.
Mama Merkel.
Mama Merkel.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Go on.
So they play off like her motherly role, right? And take advantage of the system, just totally abuse and slaughter. But it's okay because they got mama to protect them.
Yeah, she has no kids.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she has no maternal instinct. Mama Merkel.
Jeez.
Mama Merkel. Women say, we want diversity. No, you don't. No, you don't. Certainly feminists don't. Because it is unusual for women to be pro-free market. Just look at the studies about, even among economists, women are much more central planners than free market. And so if you want diversity, you want the groups with the least representation or the least numerical grouping to get the most airing. Now, fewer women are for the free market and fewer women are, quote, right-wing or conservative. And so if feminists like the diversity, then they would be doing a big outreach to free market women, to conservative women, to right-wing women to make sure that they had their voices. And they don't. Women are front and center trying to shut down that speech. So women say they want diversity, but they don't. They say they want equality, but they don't. Do you remember Emma Watson, the he for she, little trembling, fragile flower of a woman in the white dress talking to the UN? And she says, I want men to be sensitive. I want men to be in touch with their feminine side. I want men to be emotionally available. I want men who can cry. And she's dating a rugby captain.
Yeah.
Don't listen. Yeah. Do not listen. Okay, I'll cry. All right. She's going to go date the rugby captain who's not crying unless he's had a limb torn off and he's currently being beaten on the head with it. And also, like, women are new to this whole thing. I mean, I did a show recently on women know crap all about politics. I mean, most women. So they're kind of new to this, you know? No, they've had the vote for less than 100 years in many places, and less than that in some places. Kind of new. They've not gone through this whole cycle of civilization thing yet. Now, I'm not saying men individually have, but we have a kind of collective wisdom about this.
Right.
We have been conditioned by that. Quick question. Are the flourishing, successful, expanding societies those that either A, listen to women and do exactly what they say, or B, don't?
Don't.
Right. Middle Eastern religions versus the West.
Right.
So my concern is that you are, I think, like I was, and I think like a lot of the male callers in, that you are just used to serving women.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to climb out of that hole for a long time, and every time I think I'm out, I see another peak I have to cross.
Yeah, this is the great, like, if our civilization is to survive, we have to stop listening to women. And it doesn't mean stop listening to women about everything, but we have to stop listening to women and start looking at what they do. I'm sorry, the 50 Shades of Grey phenomenon is indisputable. I want A, sensitive man, or B, a guy with a helicopter who beats me half to death. Look at what women do. I'm an empiricist. This is nothing sexist. Look at what men do.
Right.
Look at what women do. and look at what they actually like. Look at how women treat a conservative speaker versus a Muslim speaker. Look at how women behave when Milo comes to speak, or Ben Shapiro, or Stephen Crowder, or you name it. Versus look at Angela May on Visit a Mosque covering her head up in deference to Sharia law. I'm just telling you, empirically, what women say they want is not matching up with their actions.
I hear you.
And if anybody, I mean, tell me where I'm wrong. This is just, I mean, maybe I'll change tomorrow. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking right now. That there's this big thing where women are going to make a lot of fuss and a lot of noise. I remember dating a woman once who was like, I want a sensitive man. I want a sensitive man. And she had a poster of David Beckham on her wall. Is that on the sensitive wall or not so much?
Maybe that's just because he's a soccer player, you know, easy to injure.
But he's not a sensitive soccer player. That's my point. He's a ferocious competitor. Right. And he didn't get to the top of his profession by crying.
I see your point.
Now, if you're in the service of women, Daniel, you said this girl can't believe you're with her. Right?
Right.
So are you in service to her? Just as you were in service to the recovering heroin addict?
No. No, I don't believe so. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's a service.
You said you didn't want to have sex, and then you fucked her, right?
Yeah, you
because
got me
she
there.
wanted
you got
it.
Me there. Oh yeah, I know. I see.
Are you in service to her?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it would appear.
I'm not saying 100%. I'm like, but is there that tendency, or is that there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it must be there, right? Why would I put myself in these situations?
What's in it for you?
Yeah.
You're a hot guy. You're a status symbol for women. You're a himbo. You're arm candy, right? I'm not saying you're dumb, but I mean, in terms of like status for women, you're a high status guy. Physically, right?
Right.
Are you serving women? Are you serving their needs?
No, I see.
Well, of course you are. That's why you're at home still. You understand? Your mother needs you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
She's anxious if you're not there. So don't worry her. Just give up your whole fucking life.
Yeah.
You're in service to women. You're on the plantation, man.
Full on. I see. Yeah. It's been a long time.
And it's not, your mother probably says she wants you around, or she wants you to be there, or she worries about you and so on, but it's not good for her.
No, it's not. Right. No, I see that.
I mean, you know how we were talking about the time for fatherhood is past?
Mm-hmm.
It's true for motherhood too, bro.
Yeah.
The time for motherhood is past.
Yeah.
You're in your 4th decade.
Getting old.
It'll happen before you know it. And every day you continue in this big square womb is another day when a great woman gets snatched up, never to be on the market again. right? You understand there are these sky hooks taking the last of the quality women out of your environment.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just diddling and squiggling and rambling along like you got all the time in the world. No, boom, boom, boom. They're being teleported out, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, for a long time, I thought there just were no virtues. I wasn't going to find any like that.
You have any siblings,
Like
Daniel?
Hmm?
You have any siblings?
Older sister.
And is she out in the world?
She recently came back. Yeah.
Right.
She's she's married, and then while I was away for 6 months, she moved back home kind of to help my mom out.
What do you mean? Oh, because your stepdad died.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's her husband have to say about this?
It kind of worked out for him because he was kind of in transit from graduating, and then to getting a job.
Hmm.
Now they're planning on taking over the house financially, and
What, your mom's house?
yes.
So they're moving in all together?
Mm-hmm.
But didn't your mom say she was evil?
Yeah. I mean, that was a while ago when she was first telling me about women, but yeah. She's not the worst single mother, but she's made a lot of bad choices.
She's not the worst single mother,
Right.
but you've been dating drug addicts and crazy women.
Right.
Okay,
No,
so sorry, man. Not buying it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. But there's no pass.
No, and I mean, worse, better, who knows, right? She's not Hitler. Boy, you don't see too many mother's cards like that. Well, at least you weren't Mengele.
I mean, it's like she gave me a sincere apology for not having a father figure in my life, which I appreciate, but it's still
Wait,
like
she's your stepdad.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a bit late, but yeah, he was there.
How old were you when your stepdad came along?
I think I was about 13.
Hmm.
Yeah. I still feel like I'm shooting in the dark a lot of times in life.
Right. Do you think that your sister and her husband should move in with your mom?
I'm kind of glad they are because I was kind of avoiding being put in a situation where I'm helping my mom out, so that way I can shove off, as it were, get out of Dodge.
So you'll stuff your sister and her husband into the guilt crack so you can get away.
Right. Well, I mean, they're gonna just buy the house from her and get her able to retire, so she can. I don't know if she's gonna stay. I mean, me and my sister.
Do you care about your brother-in-law, Daniel?
Yeah, I like the guy. Yeah, I do care about him.
Well, do you think that it will benefit his marriage to move in with your mom?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know if that's...
Please,
okay, I mean,
don't make me work this hard.
Oh, okay.
Is this going to be a good thing for his marriage, for him being a father, for him being a husband?
I suppose you don't think it is.
What do you think?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like we're all rough around the edges, and with our past, we're all trying to climb out here. So I don't know. Given my mom's past, she doesn't have much credibility with you. I understand. And she has done everything that she's done, the way she's raised us. There's not a whole lot to be forgiven. I understand that too. But but would it be bad for him? I mean, I guess it would be, but I'm not sure why he chose my sister if he knew better. And I wouldn't know how to save him if that were the case, that this was really like ultimately a shit decision for him. I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to begin to tell him what he's getting into. If indeed that it's even that bad.
You could just send him this conversation, couldn't you?
I could. Yeah.
See, now you're serving. Again, you understand that, right? Because here's the thing, man. You got to help people. You got to help people. This is your family, right? This is your brother-in-law. This is your sister. And your mother has said, women are evil. I'm evil. And she decided to have a child with a meth addict. Or children, I suppose. Yeah, you're the younger. She had 2 children with a meth addict. All right? You get that, right? Like you understand fundamentally what I'm talking about here. She was a terrible mother.
I always knew the story, but it's different hearing it like that.
But tell me where the definition of good mom does include having 2 children with a meth addict who has to flee drug addicts hell-bent on killing him and possibly the entire family.
No, there's no. It's just kind of weird, you know, how one day, a day that I was too young to even remember, just kind of fundamentally changed everything, and all the decisions that they made before that day that led down this shit path of just horrible upbringing and strife and failure. I thought I had already gone through this, but
also
I guess I don't. Mm-hmm.
Your mother should have worked really hard to try and keep your father in your life. Right?
She was never really good at that, yeah.
Did she
struggle
try?
with my stepdad? No, I mean, her definition of try is not my definition of try.
Right.
Yeah.
Does your sister and her husband, do they want kids?
Yeah, they're trying right now.
All right. All right. Do you think the children will benefit from close proximity to your mother?
I think my sister would go that way. I know for a fact she has...
Just answer the question, man.
Okay,
Come on. We've been talking
okay.
for a while. Help me be efficient here.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Will your sister's children, will they benefit from being in close proximity to your mother?
No.
Okay. So who do you owe allegiance to?
The next generation. Yeah,
well, yeah.
My niece
certainly you owe allegiance to those who can't protect themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you talk to your sister, my guess is that you won't get very far, because wanting to get along, wanting to appease, female in-group preference, lack of objectivity when it comes to ethics, lack of strength when it comes to protecting the next generation, that may all kick in, right? Maybe you can talk to your brother-in-law. Maybe he doesn't know the history of the family. Maybe he doesn't know that the reason why their kids are not going to have a grandfather is because the mom married a meth addict that had 2 kids with him.
Damn. But I mean,
your definition, remember you said about your mom, my definition of try and hers may not be the same, but you're trying, with the way you're saying you're going to try, Daniel, is you're planning to fail. You're going to do the least minimum so you can appease your conscience, but you're not really going to make it a mission.
At what cost am I willing to save my nieces or potential niece and nephew?
Man. This is the thing. Now, maybe this is a male thing, maybe it's not, but it certainly is a good thing, which is what cost? Who cares? It's the right thing to do. You can't control him, obviously. You can't make him do something. You can't take over his body Avatar style. I get all of that.
Yeah.
But you can go full tilt boogie. You can go to the max. You can go to the 10, right?
Right. No, I hear you. I'm playing out the costs in my head.
Sure.
The potential could be significant, could be detrimental, could break up the whole family. I don't know. But I see.
Maybe your mom would be willing to do some therapy. Maybe your mom would be willing to do more than she has done to fix things that happened in the past or to prevent them from recurring in the future, right? But so far, the shitty dating decisions have gone from one generation to the next, right? Nothing has stopped them. So what is to prevent it from going to the third generation? What has changed? What is going to change?
Right. I mean, I had hoped that, my sister and her husband had such a good relationship that that it would reflect well on their children. But I mean, hope is pretty weak. It's not really doing anything. It's just a judgment call from the armchair.
No, that's an excuse.
So you're right.
You don't want to do something that might interfere with what your mother wants, right?
Yeah.
Or what your sister wants.
Right. Right. Service to women.
Service to women. It has become pathological. Not in you, I just mean in the West as a whole.
Well, you're right.
I won't give more respect to women than women give to men. I'm no longer interested in anything except reciprocity. And I serve my wife. I serve my daughter. I mean, I have no problem with that. That's fantastic. But that's reciprocity.
Right.
They bring incalculable value to my life.
Voluntarily, not pathologically.
Yeah. It's not appeasement. It's not fear. It is the honest payment of a debt I owe. But the reason your mom told you that women were evil, Daniel, is so you wouldn't leave her. How old were you when she told you that?
Pretty young.
How old were you when she told you that?
Maybe I was like 6 or 7. I don't know, like right when my interest first came out.
Well, that's our selected as hell, and that's father absence to be concerned about sexual matters when you're 6 or 7. So you're 6 or 7, and she tells you that women are evil.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how destructive that is to a child? To a son? Do you get that?
I wish I can only imagine.
Well, you can do more than imagine because you can look at your dating history. That was programmed by your mom. Because saying to you that women are evil doesn't turn off your sex drive, did it? It just pointed your sex drive at evil women. Do you know how destructive that is?
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter is 9. The idea that I would say to her that men are evil, boys are rapists, I mean, It's wildly inappropriate to a 9-year-old, and how incredibly destructive, because you remember it decades later, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Serve people all you want, but serve good people. Serve people who reciprocate.
I hear you. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and you're not alone in this at all. I was older than you when it first struck me. I remember very clearly, very clearly. It first struck me as in a relationship. And I said to myself, wait, what's in this for me again? And I was like, it was a really odd thought for me to have. Wait, I should really be benefiting from this as well.
Mm-hmm.
In a long-term situation.
Right.
And it was like, I guess I should really be thinking about what I want and what I need.
Kind of wishing that thought wasn't so foreign, huh?
It is, right? I mean, I don't think I'm alone in that. Like, okay, well, wait. What's in this for me? Long run. How does this accord with my values? My virtues? What's the big plus here?
Right.
I remember I got like goosebumps down my spine thinking of like, wait a minute. Is this benefiting me again? And after I asked that question, and after I acted on that question, well, I got what I wanted. Which is to be in a relationship where I never have to ask that question. I never even think of asking that question. What is in it for you? What is in it for you to appease your mom? What is in it for you to date this obese woman? What is in it for you? How does it serve your life, your future, your goals, your desires? If you can't answer that question, guess what? You just answered that question.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Do not be of service. Do not be of utility. Do not be a slave. Be a man. And what men do is they trade. Value for value. Be a trader.
Thank you,
Stefan.
Steph. Thank you.
All right. Will you let us know how it goes?
Yeah, that's all. It's a lot there.
Thanks, man. I appreciate your call.
You too, man. Thank you. All right, bye.